What's up everybody? Big Tex here, back with another tutorial on creating traditional tattoo flash on the iPad. Today we're going to take a look at colored pencils. So this is a cool alternative to using the spit shading technique, and you can even combine the two, which I'm going to show you how to do in a sec. So let's jump into a few things that I like to do with colored pencils. Here's a flash page I made where I relied on the color pencil for all of my gradients, which gave me a little more of a rough and imperfect look. Let's focus on this bat design right here. So let me hide this layer. I have my outline all ready to go. So I made my outline with a Sharpie brush, and let's go in and take a look at what I did with the color pencils. For my color pencils, I really like to use standard pencil number 1. Oops. Let's show this layer. I like to use the standard pencil number 1. It's from a company called Retro Supply Co. It's really great. I use it all the time, but if you don't have that brush or you don't want to buy anything extra, go down to sketching. This little menu comes with Procreate, and it's got some more pencils you can use, and I also really like the 6B pencil. So that's a great alternative if you just want to get going with something for free right now. I'm going to go back to my standard pencil number 1. So the trick for the color pencil shading is we're going to turn our Apple Pencil a little bit on the side like we would shade with a color pencil. If you draw straight up and down, it's going to be too solid. You're not going to get that little gradient effect. But if we turn it a little bit on the side, apply some light pressure, then sort of breaks up towards the edge, and we get this cool little gradient. We can go back and fill more of the dark stuff in. We can apply really light pressure and fan it out more. But it's all about really turning our pencil on its side. So let's go to our bat design and let's take a little look at the ear. What I like to do is I like to draw my gradient with the tip of my pencil towards the inside of the gradient. So this is the black, the dark part, and I'm fanning out. So the tip of my pencil is facing the filled in solid part. So that's how I get that. The other thing that's really helpful for me is I like to sort of apply light pressure, draw in my gradients first, and then I go fill in the solid dark areas. I do the same thing with my colors. Let's try a little bit of red. So if we want to see how this looks with this little red gradient, I'll do exactly the same thing. Point my pencil to the darker area, fade out where I want my gradient to go, and then fill in the solid area. And there we go. Pretty much looks the same as this guy. I'll do one more little section. Let's try the mouth. So light pressure, fan it out, then go back and fill in that dark area. And as you can see, it's a little bit of a rough look. It doesn't get every single little bit filled in black. I personally like that. If that bugs you though, and you do want it to be super, super filled in, you can always take some black. You can go to a paintbrush, and you can just fill in those little parts that are peeking through that bug you. After you have your sections filled in like how you want them, take that layer, put them all on darken, and let's zoom in real close, and there you go. It's gonna be all glued together really nicely. And yeah, I really like how that comes out. So that's one technique for using the color pencil for everything. Let's take a look at a second technique. So I'm gonna pull up this piece of flash. So this is gonna be a little bit of a combo. This page uses watercolor spit shading and also colored pencil, which I forget who I saw do it. I saw someone do it a long time ago on watercolor paper, and I thought it looked really cool. So I wanted to try to recreate this on the iPad. My last video went more in depth to the spit shading technique, so you can watch that video for a deeper explanation. Today I'm gonna go through this part a little bit quickly so we can get to the color pencil part. Let's take a look at this cross design. I'm gonna take out my bottom layer, bring that in, and I got my outlines for my cross design. So what we're gonna do to get this cool effect, as you can see, it's a little bit different. We have that texture, but we also have a nice little smooth gradient behind it, and I think this looks really cool. So let's take a little black section. Let's take a new layer. So I'm gonna use my watercolor brush. I'm going to lay down some paint. I'm gonna go over that paint to make it a little more saturated. All right, so here's my watercolor. We did that first. Now let's take our smudge tool. I'm using the running blend from that Tattoo Smart Spit Shade set. You can use your same watercolor brush that you used to fill in the color. I'm going to give myself a little gradient by fading into the black. Okay, so now I have my spit shade gradient. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make a layer on top of that. I'm gonna go back to my pencil. I'm gonna go back to my standard pencil number 1, and I'm gonna point my pencil into the darker area, and we're gonna add this gradient just on top of the spit shade gradient. I think it's a cool look. It's just one more tool for your toolbox. So let's do another little section. Let's do a section of color. Let's do one of these red drops. So I got a red drop. Gonna make a new layer. Gonna take my red color, watercolor brush, lay down my color, go over it to make it a little more saturated. Laying down my paint, take my smudge tool. We're gonna smudge that. So now I have a smooth gradient. Then on top of that smooth watercolor gradient, we're gonna go back to the pencil and we're gonna add this rough colored pencil on top. And there you go. That's how I went from this line drawing to my fully colored artwork like this. And there you go. My final page looks something like this. And it's really just as simple as that. It's another tool to use. Something else to explore maybe when you get a little bored of doing the spit shade technique, and it's just gonna add another little flavor to your flash drawings. So there you have it, some tips and tricks on using color pencil in your traditional tattoo flash on the iPad. I'm gonna leave links below to some of the tools that I use. I'll put a link to my Instagram so you can check out this page and other flash pages I've made. I'll leave a little donation link in case you want to send me a buck or two. It'll really help me to make more videos for you guys. And comment below with things you might like to see in the future, ideas for future tutorials or questions you have or something you've seen that you don't know how to do, and I'll take a look at them. So thanks for watching. Bye.